back to Spotlight, you guys. I got a +1. I got a +2.
Oh, we got a +2.
We got us a +2 in the building.
Yes.
Hey, we keep it on fire, you guys.
Yes.
So, wifey gonna introduce our next guest.
I'm actually very excited to introduce our next guest. They're a married couple like Stan and myself, so I love this kind of stuff. I love love. I love black love. I want to welcome to the show Terrell and Tiffany Monger.
Yay, let's give it up.
Yay.
Yes.
How are you guys?
Hello.
It's doing wonderful. Thank you guys for being on.
We're excited.
Yes,
let's do it.
Not more excited than we are. How are you doing?
We are fine. Like your husband just said, we in the living room. And I know what that means.
That's right.
Living room. We can relax.
Hey, that's right. We got our feet up. We in the living room.
That's right.
So how you guys coping during this COVID situation? How you making out?
Well, it's working out well. I've been working home since March. My wife has been cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner 95% of the time. So that just let me know life is all right.
Well,
Tiffany, wait a minute. Don't talk about that.
Let the COVID begin then.
Let
COVID begin. You get breakfast every day. I need somebody to send a memo to my damn house. Because I'm not getting that.
Wait a minute. In all fairness, I ask my husband all the time, babe, what do you want to eat? What do you want me to cook? And what do you say?
Yeah, I'm good. I cook. I do the breakfast
That's what he
thing.
do.
That's a good look. So what else is going on with you guys? Yeah, no, you good. You good. So thank you guys again for coming on. So tell the audience, who are you guys? First of all, one by one, who are you guys?
Well, of course, I am Terrell Monger, and this is my beautiful wife,
Tiffany.
Hey, y'all.
And together we started working together on things that we call it TNT World, because just like anybody else, you're excited about marriage, you jump in, and then reality kick in. You got to say, wait a minute, we got these two worlds that came from different types of backgrounds, different type of neighborhoods, different type of families, and it got to exist in the same house. Well, what happened, our marriage almost ended in divorce. Mm-hmm. But thankfully, we were able to come around, and what happened, we had to blow up our individual worlds so we can create a world that works for us. And we call it TNT World.
Yeah.
Let me just say this before we go a moment further. I want to say thank you for that. That's a beautiful thing. Like, I love that situation. And I talked to my wife about the same thing, losing your individuality, being, a unit but still independent, coming together, creating your own scenarios, this and that. And you guys have done an amazing thing. So I thank you for that. That's a great situation.
It's a great situation. A question right off the top. You mentioned that, you gave your summary of your journey of how you almost ended up in divorce. How long did you go through the TNT, the explosive part, and you got to almost a divorce before something happened? And what was that something that happened that stopped the divorce? Bring us up to that part.
Well, I would say everything was great for a good 4 years. Mm-hmm. But in that, a lot of transition happened. I had kids before we got married. She did not. And so that was a world. Mm-hmm. And then I was a busy person, always doing things. She was a homebody. Okay. And then I became the pastor of a church. Okay. And so now they love the pastor, and they got to learn to accept the first lady. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm the pastor. Yes. Thank you for clapping. Thank you for shaking my hand. But my wife is getting overlooked. So now I'm writing plays. I'm writing books. I'm doing all of this stuff. And I'm impressed with my own stroke, and didn't realize my partner was drowning. And so at that point, a wedge became in between us that we couldn't figure out. I was burnt out and she was lonely. And in that point, we fell apart. And for 2 years, we were separated. And we'll save it for the rest of the story. But we ended up one court date away from divorce before we realized we had to blow these worlds up and find one that worked for us.
So that's his version. So real quick with mine, like he said, he had kids. He's been married before. So I'm coming in all naive, and thinking, okay, I could take on being a stepmom. I mean, what's so hard? My mother raised me right, and epic fail. Then here it is. Now you about to be a first lady. Oh, now that's a whole different column when you're really trying to be a good example, and epic fail. And then here it is. We got to the point that I was feeling like my husband made ministry more important than me. So I was insecure because I felt like he was putting more energy into that and not me. I felt like even though he was present, he wasn't present in the moment with me. So it was some things that I was needing from him, and I was pulling on him in some areas. But I also learned about myself how unlearned I was as a spouse, and because I was unlearned, an unfulfilled young lady, I was putting some unfair expectations on him, and not knowing that I was driving my husband crazy.
So, what brought you to that realization? Because it seems as though something gave you an epiphany of some sort that you said, "Hold, let me make a change." What brought you to that point?
Yeah, it started with the actual break itself. I was just burnt out, and I came home one day and thought I was saying something smart, and I said, "Listen, you've seen the absolute best Terrell Monger you're gonna see, and you're still not happy. So here's what you can expect. I'm gonna come home. I'm gonna be where I'm supposed to be. I'm gonna pay all the bills.
He did.
But if you expect anything outside of that, you're gonna be disappointing yourself because that's all I got."
And he meant it. He meant the
And
word.
so, what I do respect is you being a stand-up guy, right? I respect that because these days you have to really speak honest and candid in order to give a fair shot to your spouse. Because if you're not open and honest and candid, then they have to guess and speculate. So I respect that. So then, how did she respond?
For me, I was just like, okay, he needs some therapy. Going on that's bigger than me. And then in that same moment, he asked me this powerful question that I ask most wives when we do marriage coaching. He asked me this powerful question. He said, Tiffany, what is your happy? And then he said, wait a minute, before you answer that question, if you've never gotten a husband in your life, if you never had kids in your life, what is your happy? And when I tell you all, I could not answer that question. It's one thing to say it out loud when you're around a group of people, but when you have to actually articulate what is your happy, I had absolutely nothing I could say that fulfilled Tiffany outside of that. And in that moment, that was an epiphany for me. Like, oh my God, so no wonder I was needing and so needy and thinking, no matter what he did, we need to go on a vacation. You don't spend enough time with me. When you gonna do this, when you gonna do that, you don't even know what you want. You're not even happy. And better yet, you don't even know what makes you happy. So I was put all that on my husband and didn't know it. And so when we did separate at that moment, that's when I was like, okay, you know what? Get back in school. I started focusing on things that only belong to Tiffany, not about the kids, not about him. This is your lane. And I think it's very important that individuals find that lane that works for them and that fulfills them. And now that I got several things going on in my life, I don't even recognize how busy he is because I'm just as busy.
I love that response. I think I
Yes,
actually
God.
the
I
reason I
love that.
love your response is because we have a similar situation in our lives today. And so the one of the things I told my wife was what you said. You have to always remain an individual even though you're a unit. Like you can't lose yourself in the marriage, so to speak. And so when you have a unit that's healthy, both individuals have to be whole, right? And so then you come together and make a whole situation. So it sounds like you guys found that wholeness independently and then came into a world together. Correct?
Yes, and what's dangerous is because when you here it is, he's the pastor and he's dedicated to the ministry. So on the outside, you're thinking he's doing the will of God. What's the problem? He's doing the Lord's will, but at the same time, he was out of order. And how can and at the same time you got members that's like, hey, create another play, write another book, do this, do that. And like he said, his wife was drowning.
And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna write it. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. And they're over here celebrating me. And I get home and they're like, by the time you here, you know.
Right,
and,
right, right.
and so we were in a spot, and for me, and I think for both of us, it was over. I was like, you know what? This marriage thing ain't for me. I don't care if I don't pastor again. I'm done. I quit. I was burnt out. And the time that we were apart, like she say, she was fine in her lane. God was dealing with me. I was speaking in Rome, Georgia. I was speaking for my job. I wasn't even speaking for the church. I was introducing some new technology. And it was one of those moments where I'm killing it. I got the room captivated. It's awesome. And then after it's over, the IT manager comes and says, man, you're really good at this. It's hard to talk to some of these people one-on-one, and you have the whole room captivated. And at that moment, I'm going to say I felt like it was God. But at that moment, I felt like God said to me, you can communicate with all these people and you can't even communicate with your wife. And I was convicted. And I went back to my hotel room and I looked at the phone for about an hour. And then I called her and I said, listen, I know we're about to get a divorce, but we got these kids. Can I at least learn how to be your friend?
That's
And
beautiful.
yeah, and she said, you know, I'm glad you said that because it was some things I wish I would have done differently. And after that, we went out to eat, and I looked at her and I said, you're beautiful. And she said, do you know you've never said that? And I was like, have I been so caught up in my world that I didn't take time to tell her she's beautiful? What is wrong with you? But that's what let me know I was focused on getting her right. You got to learn how to present yourself. Come on. I was getting her into being what I felt like she needed to be to walk with me, that I didn't take time to appreciate what she is.
And that's how I was feeling. And when he said that, I'm like, God, you know you moved, because that is exactly how I felt. I never felt good enough. I never felt I met the mark. I just knew I was his wife on paper. But if you had to give me that confidence and no, I am his, I didn't. Because like you said, I was always, this is what you need to be. Be mindful of this. Everything was an assignment.
Y'all got me in here in tears now. Stop.
So we can relate so much to your story, you guys. I don't know that you would ever know this, but you don't have to say you think or guess it was God. It was definitely God, and He's actually working through you guys right now on our relationship, as right live right here on this show, because
Yes.
this is what's real about Spotlight of the City. It's not just me and my wife have situations sometimes. The whole world that's married have situations sometimes. And so what you guys are saying is so valuable and important because you didn't have it figured out. You're working on figuring it out, but you have a good path. And so I want to say again, thank you guys for being
Yes.
so candid about things that most people shy away from.
Yes, yes, yes. I want to thank you too personally. Like I said, like Stan said, like your story touched my heart in a personal way. And I too, I stamp what he said. Like it's very important that we be very transparent. And that's the only way that we can all, fix our own selves and fix our relationships. Be transparent and be, like I say, be intentional. And I choose to love my husband unconditionally every single day, no matter what is going on. I choose
Oh,
to love him unconditionally every day,
oh, and
every single
Absolutely.
day.
and so
Love
another
wins.
thing, another thing you guys expressing is great communication.
Yep.
Great communication. I think that's very, very important. So let's talk a little bit about this world you created. Let's hear about it. Now that you got past the individual parts of you guys' lives, how did the whole world come together as a whole?
Well, it started with me once we went out to eat, and we were still about to get a divorce. I told her she beautiful. That we wanted to be friends. We had a court date coming up. Just so happened the lawyers never called back. you know.
Wow.
For my own personal therapy, I started writing the events that led us to this point. So after we reconciled, I ended up writing a book called Born Not to Know. It was my personal memoirs of how I almost lost my marriage to ministry. And as I started to write, I started seeing all of my flaws. And I said, you know what? That's our problem sometimes. We think we know. You never know your partner. You're learning them every day. What they wanted passionately a year ago, they may not want today. And a man who thinks he knows does not yet know as he ought to. So we figured at that point, every day we got to continue to commit to learning each other. If you wanted eggs yesterday, I might want hash today. And you can't get mad, and I can't expect you to know. I got to communicate my needs today, and you got to accept that these are my needs. I cooked all these eggs and you don't want, I don't eat eggs no more. I don't know when to have them. Throw them in the garbage. Right. We buy another pack of eggs for $2, but we can't buy back what we got, So we just had to learn that we continue to learn each other.
And so we saw how God moved in us individually and what he's done collectively. And we understand that we're purposed to do something, to have a voice. And we take so much joy when we do marriage coaching for couples, because like you said, there's so many couples struggling silently and thinking like, I don't want nobody knowing my business, but you're struggling and you're unhappy, and if you don't fix it, you're gonna end up doing some stuff that you wish you didn't do. You're gonna become a person that you don't want to be. And so we created that avenue where people, like I said, we're not here to counsel you, we just want to help you move forward in the area that you have gotten stuck. Because that's all. There's somewhere you got stuck, where you got stuck with being selfish, stuck with, being accountable, stuck with being unforgiving. Somewhere you've gotten stuck. And our goal is how can we help you all move forward?
And I'd say one thing, and I hope my wife don't slap me in the back of the head.
I'm not.
But since our communication got better, everything got better. Our home, our selection of where we're gonna go eat, our sex life, everything. Now I'm like, man, it wasn't like this. We were dating. We came up on something. Let me go read some more books. Let me go find some more words, But everything got better when we stopped talking at each other and started talking with each other. I hear her, she hears me, and it translates into so many areas of our life, and we never think we're there.
Right.
Like this interview we're doing, she was early. She was ready 20 minutes early. Every other interview, we about to fall out. Baby, if you don't get down here, the folk on the Zoom, girl,
Yes, sir.
Well, listen.
I love it. You guys have amazing energy.
I love y'all already. Amazing. I love y'all.
Yeah, you guys are amazing. And I thank you. Where's the books and the videos and the documentaries? You got to get this stuff out here, because I promise you're going to help a lot of people.
Yeah, give out all of your information, because our producer has given us the sign. We got to
wrap it up. Yeah, they fussing at us right now. But
give out all of your information, because I'm going to be calling you all tomorrow. So we can talk about some other things. But yes, give out all your information.
We made it easy. Everything is on the website, tntworld.org. You can find our Facebook, our Instagram, how to contact us, how to set up sessions, everything. tntworld.org.
That's perfect. You got it. tntworld.org. Make sure you guys lock and load. Follow these guys. They are amazing, as you guys already bear witness to.
Hope to meet you all in person one day.
Communication is definitely a key. That's another thing we discussed. Your communication level has definitely impressed us. We see that it can help a lot of other people. So keep doing what you guys are doing. Make sure you guys stay locked to them. Follow them on their situation, because they do have a great one.
Yes,
thank you guys.
Thank you all for being a part of
Let's give it up one more time.
Yes. Woo!
Thank you. Up next, you guys, you already know, without further ado, Miles A is in the building, and we got him live to perform his new smash. So we'll be right back. Spotlight over the city.